we're just not good enough. We don't obviously chemistry, talent wise, just everything, and it was clear.
Surrounding James Harden, given a timeline, and why I think James Harden has failed the Houston Rockets. James Harden, probably the second best player the Rockets have seen in their organization. Number one, Hakeem Olajuwon, just because he won back-to-back titles, MVPs, DPOYs, the best player to ever step foot or ever wear a Houston Rockets jersey. And then you could say Harden, if he were to have a ring, he'd definitely be the best Rocket of all time. But Harden's the best scorer of all time in the NBA in general. But I'll get to that later. This is a timeline for Harden in Houston. First thing that happens, gets traded. We literally steal Harden from the OKC Thunder. We give him like Jeremy Lamb, some picks. We just give him bums. Then we trade for Dwight Howard the next season. And that their play could have been so much better together, but it wasn't. Just due to the fact that the coach and Dwight Howard just didn't know how to use their abilities together. Like, if they were a pick and roll type play style, it would have been so smooth, so good to watch and play. But Dwight Howard, for some reason, wanted to become a post player, and he did not want to have anything to do with the pick and roll. That's why we traded him or let him walk from Houston. And then we fired Kevin McHale because Harden wanted Kevin McHale fired. Then we pick up Chris Paul to complement Harden. Then we trade Westbrook because it's Harden's friend, and he didn't want Chris Paul anymore. And then Daryl Morey leaves because he's like, you know what? The season with Westbrook was not what we planned. I can't help Harden anymore. And then they trade Westbrook because of Harden. Because of Harden. Westbrook wanted his own team. He wanted to be ball dominant, but Harden was like, no, it's my team. I want the ball more. Dwight Howard era was not Harden's fault at all. Dwight Howard just didn't want to play the way he should have. So I'm not gonna put that against Harden. McHale wasn't the best coach either. You know, he didn't really let Harden be Harden. He kind of like put him in a box and didn't let him really flourish. That's the word, flourish. And then we get Chris Paul, who was the best teammate James Harden has had on Houston. I was about to say best teammate he's ever had. He played with Kevin Durant, so I can't really say that. But Chris Paul was the best teammate Harden had on Houston, even with Westbrook, even with John Wall, even with Dwight Howard, the best one he's ever had on Houston. I still say if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt I think it was game 5 or 6, Houston beats Golden State, and Harden beats the Raptors in the NBA Finals. Westbrook he did not fit our offense. He made it so easy to guard us. The Lakers knew in the playoffs. Harden and Russell Westbrook were just so easy to clamp in the playoffs. The Lakers just knew to leave Westbrook open. That's why he didn't really play a lot in that series, just because when he was on the floor, we were just terrible. Except for Game 1. Game 1 was the only game that the Rockets played good against the Lakers. We won. And I was like, oh, damn, maybe we have a chance. Nope. We get smoked. Gentleman sweep. Let's talk about Daryl. Without Daryl Morey, I don't think Harden's Harden. He made every move to benefit Harden. He was 14. I think he was 14 years with the organization. Every single move, he tried to help Harden. But I just don't think Harden just couldn't get it done, you know? And then Wall and the new pieces that we got, like Christian Wood, DeMarcus Cousins, Tayshaun Tate, John Wall. I think I said them already, or I might not have. But all of them, this is probably one of his better teams that he's ever played on. And he still got PJ Tucker. We still got Eric Gordon. One of the best teams he's ever played on. And he wants to leave after 9 games. I just also don't think James Harden has that leader factor in him. Like LeBron, like Chris Paul, like a Damian Lillard. Like, those players are leaders. You can tell when they step on the floor, they're a leader. And everyone wants to be them. Everyone wants to battle with them because they're just natural born leaders. There's obviously way more. I just said those couple as an example. And then there's Harden, who's really good, but he doesn't really have that leader aspect in his game. He's no doubt the greatest scorer of all time. He gets to the rim whenever, scores whenever, he can score however. But he just lacks playoff success. That's what hurts his reputation and what hurts, I guess, his legacy as a Houston Rocket. They build teams around his skills and he can't get it done. They gave him players to help out with him so he's not drained out during the playoffs. Because that was the big thing. James Harden would play every single game. He would score 30 a game. But then when it came to the playoffs, like the San Antonio series when Manu Ginobili blocked a shot, that series, he was just drained. Just because he had no help. He had no one that could take the ball for a quarter or 5 minutes to give him some rest. And then we get Chris Paul, who helps with that. And he still couldn't get it done. And then, the Houston Rockets have no centers on their team. The smallest lineup, probably in NBA history, running PJ Tucker at power forward, Robert Covington as center, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Eric Gordon. It was good while it lasted. It wasn't really good, but it was an experiment. James Harden has averaged 30-plus points in the last 3 seasons, averaged 28-plus points in the last 3 postseasons. But in the big games, he's not himself. So, let me explain. The best chance I had, definitely, was to go to the finals, was the 2018 playoffs, where they took Golden State to 7 games. Game 6. To win the series, James Harden had 30 points. You know, you may be like, oh, that's pretty good. He had 9 turnovers. He shot good efficiency. I think it was around like 40 from field goal, 30-something from 3. But then game 7, you have one of the best up-and-coming centers in Christian Wood, who allows Harden to spread the floor because of his shooting ability. DeMarcus Cousins allows that. We're not small ball anymore. We got centers that can match up with Anthony Davis, a Joel Embiid. And then John Wall can still do his thing. He's averaging like 23 points right now. But I don't think James Harden will ever win a championship without the Houston Rockets. Just because I don't think any franchise will go all out and do anything for him like the Rockets have. The Rockets have done everything. Everything in their power just to get James Harden a ring. And it all comes down to him. And they can only do so much. They can't. It's not 2K. They can't go on a controller and control him. He has to get it done. They've done the best they could. That's why he's failed the Rockets. Because he's done everything in his power. They traded for Howard. They fired McHale. They picked up Chris Paul. They picked up Westbrook. The Westbrook trade, man. That just hurt. That hurt Houston's future. Because we gave up picks for Westbrook. And we picked up his big contract too. But man, I'm gonna end the video there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully new daily content. You know, I'm bored. There's nothing else to do. Talk some basketball, football. So hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. See ya.